Today we are going to analyze this cartoon called Piebald Possibilities, a little Australian Christmas family party of the future. It was published in the Bulletin magazine in 1902. We should be able to understand something from this contextual information. The Bulletin magazine at the time was a highly conservative magazine and one which tended to sensationalize news and politics. Going by the year 1902, you should know that this was a very conservative time in Australia. The White Australia policy was in effect, and of course a very racist, patriarchal, and xenophobic time. So let's see how the context is reflected in this cartoon here, and there's a lot that we're going to analyze. The Piebald Possibilities cartoon attempts to persuade its viewers of the dangers of racial integration by showing what appears to be a highly dysfunctional family. So we have here a celebration of sorts as a family sits down to eat together. It's a multi-generational family, and we are shown exaggerated depictions of various races coming together. So the two elders of this family are this white person here and this woman of Aboriginal appearance there. Obviously, they have married and they have had children and who have married other people and have had grandchildren. Let's first identify the white people or the Caucasian people. So we've got this one here. We've got this woman and presumably this man and this woman, and we can tell that even from the back because of the clothes they are wearing and their hairstyles. We notice first of all the facial expressions of the white people whose faces we can see. They look sad there. They don't look happy. This suggests that they are unhappy and subdued. On the other hand, the people of Asian, African, and Aboriginal people or appearance are shown as loud, rowdy, and savage. So we have this person here, 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 and here. They are shown as people who are not able to sit down and have a civilized meal together. So let's have a look at this man. This man of African appearance and clothing and hair here, right there. And you can talk about his hair, you can talk about his big earrings, you can talk about the tattoos on his head and his back and the clothes that he's wearing. You can talk about all these things in costume, in facial expression, and we're going to talk about the gesture and his arm there. So we have this man putting an arm on the back of this white woman who is presumably his wife. Now, think back to 1902. This is a society, a very patriarchal society, where men have power over women. And women are property, a sense of ownership. There's a sense of honor that comes with them, that you don't have your women touched by anyone else. The fact that this black man is putting his arm or hand on the back of a white woman suggests that he has power over her. And this would have caused tremendous anxiety for a white male audience of 1902 because they would not want a black man having power over one of their white women, and especially sexual power. He's also gazing at her, look at that gaze there, with a lecherous facial expression, which again would cause anxiety for that same audience. We have this man here of Asian appearance also gazing at this woman with what we can describe as a lecherous expression. And this again suggests that anyone who is not of European descent, who is not white, does not know how to behave with women, does not know how to behave with family. They are vulgar, they are crude, they are uncultured, and they are uncivilized, which perfectly reflects the values, attitudes, and beliefs of the time this text was created, 1902. It suggests that people who are not Caucasian are lewd and untrustworthy. So this man here and this man here, non-Caucasians, are lewd and untrustworthy. Let's have a look at this man with the very large hair there. He is struggling to eat with cutlery. So because he is struggling to eat with cutlery, this symbolizes his so-called uncivilized nature. We have a woman holding an Aboriginal child. Clearly, she is married to an Aboriginal person. Does she look happy? No. And the child has been made to look a little bit monstrous. This woman here, laughing away, big earrings, showing skin over there, obviously is uncultured and uncivilized too. As is this strange person here who has these strange markings on his head, but is pretending to dress up and be civilized. The fact remains, according to this cartoon, that no one who is not white can ever be civilized or cultured enough. So this cartoon will appeal to people who value a strong family unit. It will appeal to those who value racial purity. And it will appeal to those who wish to maintain their so-called superior heritage. Let us turn our attention now to these pictures up here, the family portraits as it shows. It says my family tree there and my wife's family tree. Who's the my? This person. Who's the wife? This person. So look at this person's family tree. We have Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden holding an apple. They are very clearly white. It's an idyllic, beautiful setting, suggesting that all white people are descended from Adam and Eve. My wife's family tree, on the other hand, shows 3 monkeys up on a tree. This suggests that anyone who is not white, such as this person here, this person, etc., are more animal than human. So this cartoon, Piebald Possibilities, dehumanizes anyone who is not white. Then we have this portrait of my great-great-great-great-grandfather. It shows that white people have evolved from being like this to being like this. There's big growth there, but there is no growth for people who are not white. They are barbaric. Son-in-law Ahmed, a Muslim name. Dark face, white turban, different clothing, suggests that this family has been tainted by having someone like Ahmed marry their daughter. Cannibal relative, suggesting, and notice that this person has big hair, almost an afro, dark skin, and is cooking a light-skinned person in a top hat, which represents European civilization, more cultured, more civilized, etc. So this cannibal is shown here cooking to eat this Caucasian person, showing how Caucasian people are the victims of anyone who is of a different race. White people are victims of black people. Black people are barbaric and uncivilized and uncultured. They are cannibals and they eat the supposedly civilized and cultured white people. So anyone who is not white is dehumanized and vilified in this cartoon. So this image advocates racial purity and it appeals to people with a strong sense of the importance of family. This Piebald Possibilities cartoon also appeals to a sense of fear because the audience is manipulated into believing the so-called adverse and horrific effects of interracial marriages. It would appeal to people who value racial superiority, who value a pure family and are disgusted by a so-called mixed breed child, as we have here. Now, given the context of the time and the White Australia policy in effect in the early 20th century, this cartoon and what this cartoon shows would have repulsed and offended many viewers because they would have seen things that were totally unacceptable to their values. Our context is different, so we respond differently to this cartoon. We live in a more multicultural context. It is less patriarchal than before, and our response to how different people and races have been vilified here is one of anger and disappointment.